Welcome back to yet another 213 Crispy video, and today we are talking about this body. I've posted on Facebook a project that I had done, and this is for a Christmas gift. So I apologize that I have not been posting as much recently, but this is kind of the reasons why. You'll understand if you hang around long enough to see, but anyhow, I'm getting back into RC racing, basically, if you haven't figured that portion of it out yet. I have been asked by numerous people on Facebook group, on Team Associated Nation, on how I painted this body. So I am going to make a video on this particular project. With that being said, it's a lot easier than it looks, but it's also more complicated than it looks. I know it's kind of counterintuitive and contradictory to each other, but just trust me when I say it's easier than you think it is. So we're going to start from the first steps and kind of what I've done to get to this stage. But I'm also going to show you the materials and how I was able to do this. So the Darth Vader logo on the front, the Darth Vader logo on the side, and the Stormtroopers on this side are all from a comic book. Yes, I said a comic book. So I'm going to move this out of the way so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And we're going to move this out of the way as well. So you're going to ask, well, how did this happen? And all of that. First things first, I am not the original person that made this body. I will put a link down low in the description on where I found it. It is actually another YouTube video out there on this concept. I just kind of took it and ran with it and changed it up a little bit. So the product that you use is XXX Main, so XXX Main picture glue. And it's part number Z001, and it comes in this little container. I'm wanting to say this container's 12 or 15 bucks. It's kind of expensive for just one-time use, but I will tell you, I did one body, and I am nowhere near empty. Like, I mean, I don't even think I could put a dent in how much I actually used. So that's nice. That means you can do a lot of bodies with that. What images did I use? That's probably the most common question is how did I do it and what images did I do? So this particular comic book is the Aaron Cassidy Martin episode 001. There's a couple different versions of this episode that are out there. Some of them have a yellow background instead of white. It doesn't matter. I found this at a local comic book store for $4. And then I picked up a second one, which is issue 2. And I bought this one off of eBay, and I think it was $6 shipped. Somewhere around there. Long story short, you can buy them. They're still out there. They're easy to find. I did not even use a single image out of this book. The second one. I got everything I needed off of the 001. But what you do is you flip through here, find the image that you want, take an X-Acto knife and trim out all of the edges, and then you're left with just your picture. So I saved the pages that I had cut, so I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So, for example, this was the image of the stormtroopers. So I took my hobby grade X-Acto knife, trimmed around, and pulled that image out. Then you take your picture glue and apply picture glue on your image, and then you slap it on your body. And then once you put it on your body, then you go on the back side of it again, put another coat of the image glue on there, and then let this sit up. I had let mine sit for like a week before I painted over it, but I believe you can get by with 24 hours. 12 hours is what the packaging says. So that is how you get the images. So I stole it from that page for that image. This was the rock that I had used, and then this was the Darth Vader, and that's the icon for the Darth Vader. So to give you an idea, I believe there is another red circle inside of this book. There's multiple images that I could have used. It just comes down to kind of what images you were looking for. But like, that's Han Solo in the crosshairs. I could have used that image instead. I could have put a Han Solo logo on there instead of a Darth Vader or stormtroopers, whatever you're looking for. It's personal preference on what you like for your Star Wars themed vehicle, but you have plenty of images that you can choose from. Just take your time, trim it nice and neat, because it will show up when it comes to your edging and stuff on here. The only tip that I have with this is do not get the glue on the body that is outside of your image. So I don't know if you can see, but I accidentally got it a little too far, so I had to go through and clean it up with some acetone to get it prepped, basically to clean off that crap off of it. So that is how I did the images of these 3 logos. Takes a little bit of finagling to work some of this sometimes. Just take your time. Don't have to use a ton of pressure using your X-Acto knife. But sometimes you just get a little spot that just doesn't want to come free. And that's where just a little bit of patience and she'll come right off. As you see, I'm just using the X-Acto knife to lift up on the paper to help get it going. And there you go. So, I've got the 2 most important pieces, which are the both sides. And then I'm going to cut out, I believe, this logo as well. And I think we're going to put that on the front hood of it. And, yeah. I believe, and I needed something for his hand to be forcing They used a couple rocks. I got to figure that part out. But so far, everything is going good. So I'll bring you guys back and with a little bit more of an update. So once we've got our images cut out, the creative side of you is what's going to come into play next. So, and your Sharpie. All of your RC bodies have a film on the outside, like a cellophane plastic. You can rip it off. It's fine. You can draw on it, do what you want with it. But what we're going to do is use that film to your advantage to figure out placements on where you want everything set up at. So first things first, we're going to start on this side of our body. We know over here is the end of the body panel, which is right here. Yeah, back here. So I want to align this picture where this main head is near this back corner of this body. So what you have to do is trim accordingly and then figure out, actually I just noticed this. So because of the way this picture is set up, I don't like this head being fully cut off. So I need to trim this last head so it's a full head. So bear with me real quick. You'll see just how quick and easy it is to trim. Just like that. So see how much more finished that looks than leaving a hard line on the end over here. So when I go to put this on here, I know where I need to be, but I want to put it on the inside. So this gives me an idea of where I want to align these people. So I'm going to raise this up a little bit. And I'm going to move him just forward. Just like so. That looks pretty good. So I'm okay with this positioning. So what you're going to do now is take your Sharpie and you're going to mark the edge roughly. Doesn't have to be exact. Because what this is going to do is it's going to help you determine where you're going to put everything else later. So it should be about right there. But it's also going to help you align things. Yep. So there we go. So when I go to remove this, it gives me an outline. So now I know this is the outline that I'm going to be working with. And so I'm going to put Trooper on here. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side with the Vader. But the key with the Vader is you want him kind of in the middle, but not so much. So he's probably going to be about right. I'm happy with that spot right there. So I'm going to put Vader here. So then now I need to figure out where I want this little stone or object that I cut out that he is basically throwing. So I want it to be probably, I mean, I could do it just about anywhere, but I'm thinking about like right there. Something like right there. So it looks good to me. Oops, I just got some Sharpie on the image. Oh well, no big deal. That's why you're supposed to hold on the inside, not the outside, but it'll be fine. So, there you go. So I've got my Rock, Vader, and then I've got my Stormtroopers, and then I'm going to have a logo here, and I'm going to have a logo here. And these are going to be the Star Wars logos that I'm having made by my sister-in-law. She's got a circuit cutting machine, so I sent her some images. She's also going to cut me out some templates that I'm going to use as kind of like a tribal flame that I'm going to put probably on the side somewhere from about here forward and come somewhere about right here. So somewhere about right here up through the window, kind of like in towards Vader. And then I really think that fits really well. So let's go ahead and do that. So same thing, figure out where you like it. Which I really like about right there. That looks good. There you go. So that gives me the outline imaging of the design. So I'm going to write Vader on the front. So that gives me the design layout that I'm looking for. The primary colors for this body is going to be black, silver. I'm going to outline the windows in a red trim. And then I'm probably going to make, really haven't figured out yet. I want to add some more red to this. I just don't know where. I'm probably going to make this top piece red right here, this fin. Probably all the way from the front to the back of it. And then I may do some dark silver near the top as well. But the predominant colors is black, dark silver, light silver, and then red. So it's going to be a dark themed Star Wars paint scheme. You may have noticed the aluminum board underneath here that has my logo on it. This is for my brother. He is a CNC machinist. Thank you, Todd, for the help on making this piece for me. And what it is it's actually going to be my pit board. So when I'm working on cars, I can put it on here and get a stable platform to set up a car with. And I appreciate that. So he's going to make me some wheels or some tires that I can put on the buggies. And I'll explain this board more in detail. But it works really well as a flat surface, a hard surface to cut on with the X-Acto knife. Which, by the way, that came from... The X-Acto knife came in a kit. It was like, I want to say $5. But I mainly bought it because of the smaller side nips. It comes with some extra blades and some files, which I don't really need, and then some tweezers. The tweezers are more for just tinkering with small, like, screws and stuff like that. So most of the stuff I get from Amazon. I was actually able to buy this comic book, and I was able to do everything that you see here is all done with the first edition of the Aaron Cassidy Martin Star Wars Marvel series 2016. I did everything with that. So, in technically speaking, the second edition I did not even use. Didn't even touch it, didn't even open it, didn't even look through it. I just know that the images that I want and I need are right there. So I'm not going to sit here and try to battle myself with more images to try to figure out what I want, what I don't want, what may work, what won't work. I just don't want to confuse myself any more than I have to. So Next step is to take your body, take it inside, and don dish soap and some warm water and scrub the inside of this, get this thing spotless, which I'm going to do off of camera. And then when I come back, we are going to start applying our glue to our images and then putting them on our body. So I'll be right back, guys. Once I had those 3 logos applied and dried, the next step was I needed to come up with an idea of a tribal flame system that was used on the original make of this particular body. So I scrounged across the internet, and unfortunately I did not find anything that had this style that would have worked. So I have access to a Circuit Explorer vinyl cutter. So I photoshopped the original and took the image off of it and used that image to create a template for this body. So, and I know you probably can't see the cuts, but this piece of paper is the exact fit of this particular image. So if you look right here, I'm going to line this up. So if that's there, curls around, comes over here, and this is the front of this template. So what I did was take these and put them on the inside. So I'm using this as a template. Then I also had the Star Wars logos printed on the same machine, so on both sides. I went with the option of doing it as the regular logos without the outside, and I chose that I didn't like just the typical Star Wars logo, so I chose to use the outline instead. I think it looks better, personally. So that is a personal preference. Again, I had these cut in yellow vinyl. I do have the templates for the yellow Star Wars logos and the side pieces. So once I had the sides put on, then I used some masking tape and made a V to get this to the point to the front. That's just done by standard regular masking tape. There wasn't nothing fancy about it. I painted the red first. Then I painted the red section, and I hand trimmed the windows with masking tape as well, and those were painted red. So all of the red was done by masking tape as well. So I did black first, red second, then I did the light silver outline first. And then you're going to notice here's a couple of my blemishes. I rushed this a little bit quicker than kind of what I'm used to, but I accidentally touched it while trying to get some of the tape apart. And you can see the thickness of my lines, how this is a little bit wider and this is narrower. That's just human error. We're not perfect. So I trimmed the outside first, peeled that off, painted that with the Proline silver paint. Aluminum actually is what that is. And then I went and peeled the rest of it off and painted the dark, which is the Proline metallic charcoal. The black was the Spazstics high gloss black. The red was Spazstics solid red. And then I backed it all with solid white. So when you look in there, it's nice and white. Mainly I did the white to pop the red, to give it that color. Also to help back up some of the silver, to bring out some of it, because it is also a a metallic color. But that is how I painted this body. If you need the templates, or you have access to somebody that can cut you the vinyl, I have these templates already made to size, so you don't have to do anything. Just contact me. I'll be more than glad to send you the files that I have for these. You can have them made at your own time. I am in the process of looking at getting a vinyl cutter, so I may be able to supply you these at a pretty discounted rate. We'll see. I haven't got that far yet. So that is that. I also want to give you guys an update. I apologize that I have not been making a whole lot of videos because, like I said, I'm getting into the RC world, and I'm making this like a week before Christmas. What is it? Today's like the today's like the 15th or something like that, but this is his buggy that I bought him for Christmas. So I'm just in the process of cleaning it, rebuilding it, and putting some new stuff on it, getting it ready for Christmas, because that is his gift from me to him. And then I also purchased a B6.1, which is behind me. And this thing is in a bajillion pieces because I keep finding more and more stuff broke and or missing. So the parts I keep buying, unfortunately, like for example, I was missing the turnbuckle end caps. I bought the wrong ones. I bought the old version instead of the new version, so they didn't fit. It didn't have a diff, so I had to buy a diff, put that in. I kind of bought the wrong version, but that's just me learning these again. But all in all, I'm happy with this. So that's kind of taken up my time, and I don't want to do a whole lot of videos on this because I don't want him seeing these. It's kind of hard, and I'm in a small home, so I don't have a lot of free time to get away from him to do these kind of videos. So I hope you guys understand and appreciate that, which I'm sure you do. Also, make sure you guys keep an eye out. I will be dropping a video on a giveaway that I'll be doing here probably after this gets released. So make sure you guys stay tuned, subscribe, and if you like the video, comment down below. Let me know what you think of the body. I personally dig it. This is also my first body that I airbrushed. So give you guys an example. It's a $22 airbrush system that I had purchased off of Amazon. And I absolutely love this thing. The only kicker to this is I had to buy an air pressure regulator to put in line because my tank, it's a restriction of my air compressor, doesn't get down low enough, so I had to basically double it up. This is hands down a lot easier than rattle cans. I have grown up painting rattle cans my entire life and enjoyed it. I'm going to do a video on this by itself, so this isn't a product review. I just want to give you guys a heads up on how I painted it. To give you an idea of bodies that I have painted in the past. Bad example, but here's an old T-Max body that I have floating around right here. First thing you're going to say is, really? Yes. This thing is like 20 years old. So it is like a purplish blue color and black across the back and top. Nothing fancy, but this was done with spray paint. So the trim is black, the fenders are black, but everything else is that dark bluish purple color. And that was done with spray cans, and this still looks really good for as old as this body is. This body, like I said, was for the original T-Max, and it was mine before I sold it, and I was probably 18, 19. So that gives you an idea. 34 now. Do the math. That's how old this body is. And this is an old Pro Line body. This is back when they made stuff to last. It's a bad paint job, but this is one my father painted. Sadly, this body is... that was a failed attempt. I'll explain that in a minute. This body's probably 20, 25 years old, and it was painted with rattle cans as well. My dad had the genius idea to use a paint pen to do silver on this part of it, so he did it by hand. Maybe it's black. I don't remember. I'm gonna go with black because I see black here, but I think that was the black. I think it was silver first. Black was done here, and then the black bled through the silver because he didn't let it sit. Something happened, and it just didn't stick very well with paint pens. But we did the pinstriping of the silver and the blue. Like I said, this body is an original Associated RC10T truck body that's 25 years old. So, and it was done with spray can. I mean, you can tell by the pattern that that's spray cans. That's the downside of the spray cans, is they're just very inconsistent. They work great if you understand the limitations of it and how to work around it. They will do what you need it to do. But, yes, that is me rambling, I know. I get it. So, with that, we're going to wrap this video up. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you appreciate how I painted this body. I'll tag some pictures along with it, along with the steps that I've done. That way you guys get an idea of what you're looking at and kind of the process to go along with it. Make sure you check out the link on the original body of this. Like I said, I am not the first person to do it, so I am not taking full credit on this. This is just my interpretation of the stock associated B6.1 body, because I think he did it with the AJ Concepts body, so the lines are different. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.